when I was asked to read from a dead poet, I was tempted to read from one of my own, given how few poems I've been writing the last 6 months. But I guess that was against the rules. So I decided to read a couple of poems by E.E. Cummings. Just want to chat a little bit about him momentarily before I read. I read him when I was 15 years old, and at that point in time I was mostly French-speaking instead of bilingual. So I was just learning the English language, and I stumbled across E.E. Cummings, and I thought, what a strange language they have. I thought I was beginning to learn English, you know. No grammar, no, you know. It looked pretty chaotic, but it was quite fun, a bit naive, I guess, but for a 15-year-old, it was bowled me over. And so yeah, he was writing, he signs his name in lowercase, but he was writing poems that in lowercase with ampersands, with invented words, unusual grammar, parentheses, incomplete sentences, jumbled words. And he was doing that in 1920 and thereabouts. So that means that when I read it, that's 40 years ago from here, and it's another 40 or 50 years before then is when he was doing that. He kind of opened up, I began to play a bit, and when you're 15, it's a good thing to do, play with words, as opposed to try to be ponderous and only write monuments. You could write, you could think, you could play with the language itself in a different manner than what I thought before. So, for example, it had such an effect on me that even my logbook was in lowercase for a few months afterwards, right? And even for years afterwards, every once in a while, the lowercase I, which is a little bit more humble, nobody reads my logbook, so my journal, but you know, sometimes you're in the mood for writing lowercase I. And one thing for you, Rob, in the back there, when I started reading this, you were a few months old. So the lowercase writing that you've been, the way you sign your name, I don't know if you got that from Cummings or some other source or whatever. I was just curious.
From Canadian sources.
Canadian sources. Okay. So anyways, I'm really thankful to Cummings, and I'll read a couple of his poems. Just want to say I found his poems on sites, well, I have some books as well, but I found these two poems on a site online, and there's like literally thousands of sites for E. Cummings. And I went to this one site, it didn't look particularly large, and these poems, they had like 15,000 hits on this one site for poems written in 1920. So that's pretty cool how that happens. People are still reading this stuff. The first one, he was a bit younger. In 1920, he was maybe 25, 26 years old. It's called In Just. In just spring, when the world is mud, luscious, the little lame balloon man whistles far and wee. And Enniet Bill come running from marbles and piracies, and it's spring. When the world is puddled wonderful, the queer old balloon man whistles far and wee. And Betty and Isabel come dancing from hopscotch and jump rope, and it's spring, and the goat-footed balloon man whistles far and wee. And this one, published in 1931, I guess he was 37, thereabouts. It's called M Was. M was, are leaves few this? Is these a or scratchily over which of earth dragged once for leaf? And were who skies clutch and on poor, how colding hearless? Ere there's what immense live without every dancing, singless, only a child's eyes float silently down, more than to those that and that knowing are gone, snow gone, yours, mine, we're. Alive and shall be, cities may overflow, was assassinating whole grass blades. 5 ideas can swallow a man. 3 words imprison a woman for all her now. But we've such freedom, such intense digestion, so much greenness. Only dying makes us grow. Thanks.